Hello everyone and welcome to Shifting Gears. Welcome inside the Kia Carens Clavis 1.5 litre diesel 7-seater manual variant. So on Shifting Gears, we already have plenty of content pieces for the Kia Carens Clavis and the Kia Carens, which has been on sale for quite some time. This is a very popular family car here in the Indian market, and rightly so, because it just feels so good on the inside and it just offers you so much in terms of space, in terms of practicality, in terms of decent performance, and it is just ideal for a family of 4, 5, 6 or 7. In this video, we are going to speak about how does this car feel from behind the wheel if at all you want to buy the 1.5 litre diesel manual, and we will tell you everything in detail about the driving dynamics, about the engine performance and the overall ease of making use of this vehicle. I have been driving it for a really long time. This has been my long termer for this month of October 2025, and I have been mighty pleased with this Kia Carens Clavis. So now is a good time to subscribe to the Shifting Gears channel. Press that bell icon so that you get a notification every time we upload a content piece, so that you can make an informed car or two-wheeler buying decision. Now first, let us speak about the engine specifications of this particular variant. Now, powering this particular Kia Carens Clavis, which I have with me right now, the 1.5 litre diesel, you have a CRDI engine, 1493cc. It produces 85 kilowatts of peak power at 4000 RPM and 250 Newton meters of peak torque between 1500 to 2750 RPM. Now, the variant which I have right now is the 6-speed manual. If you want the automatic, that is a 6-speed torque converter unit. Of course, you have two more petrol engine options, one which is a naturally aspirated motor and one which is a turbocharged motor if you want more performance. You get 45 liters of fuel tank capacity with this Kia Carens Clavis, so you really have long legs to go out on that long drive. And this is a two-wheel drive MPV. This is a family car, this is a people mover, but it is a very nice and luxurious and very appealing family car. It is not at all utilitarian like the Toyota Innova. It is not at all plain Jane vanilla like the Ertiga or the XL6 from Maruti Suzuki. The Kia Carens Clavis, once you step inside, it just elevates your mood because it just feels so good on the inside, and that primarily is something that will win you over if at all you go and check this vehicle out. So if you are looking for a family car and if you want a practical vehicle with all the space for luggage or for passengers, you have to consider this Carens Clavis and you have to at least take a test drive. Now, what I first want to speak about is the mileage. It has been fantastic. Today, I have been driving this car for 125 kilometers as of now, and the mileage figure which I have achieved is 17.9 kilometers per liter. Now, you might say that is not exceptional, but let me tell you, I was stuck in almost 40 minutes of uphill traffic going towards Lonavala, peak Diwali rush, festive season, and I just was unaware about this particular situation and I was stuck in traffic. After that, we stopped for a snack and I left the vehicle running. So we were eating for almost 20 to 25 minutes and the vehicle was just parked, but the engine was running. So 3 hours and 50 minutes of run time for the motor, 125.8 kilometers as of now, 17.9 kmpl of fuel efficiency. That is just brilliant. This is for today. If I have to tell you more about the fuel efficiency, so far I have driven this car for 905 kilometers in my long-term journey, and the fuel efficiency which I have achieved is 13.8 kmpl, and it is now increasing now that I am on the highway. all of these 905 kilometers have been spent inside of Mumbai city limits and now on the Mumbai-Pune expressway only today. Otherwise, I have only used this car inside city limits, not out on the highway as a touring car. So 13.8 kmpl is really good for a car of this size, which can carry 6 to 7 people or carry a lot of luggage, and this fuel efficiency is really good. So if at all you want to buy a car to go out for long drives with your family, the Kia Carens Clavis is not going to burn a hole in your pocket. It is going to be a very frugal vehicle. It is going to be a very efficient vehicle, and it is not only about money. It is also about those fuel stops which have become very annoying because of just how crowded fuel pumps have become. It has become a tedious task to go and refuel your vehicle, and that is why when you have a diesel car which is so efficient, your fuel stops are reduced, so it reduces the annoyance of vehicle ownership. But that is my perception maybe, but fuel efficiency is really good. Now that we have the economics out of the way, let me speak in step-by-step fashion. Firstly, the NVH. Right now I'm going to set the cruise control at 80 kilometers per hour. The vehicle is in its 6th gear. At 80 kilometers per hour right now, the engine RPM is at just above 1500 RPM. You can say that it is close to 1700 RPM. At this speed, on a concrete patch on the Mumbai-Pune expressway, there is no engine noise that is heard inside the cabin. Of course, there is a lot of rolling noise that you can hear because you are driving over concrete, so you have that kind of ambient noise, but engine noise, not at all. So it is a very nice and refined motor. So because of that, when you're driving through a ghat, when you're driving a bit fast, when you are out on the highway just munching miles, the engine noise is not going to add to your driving fatigue, to your driving stress, and because of that you can drive for a really longer time. And when overall orally you are not too disturbed in the NVH department, it just keeps you a happy driver, it just keeps you a happy commuter in a vehicle, because you just feel more calm, you just feel more at peace, and that is really important. If I increase the speed, now I'm going to set it at 100 kilometers per hour, the cruise control. We are picking up pace. When it is picking up pace also, there is no clatter that I can hear for the engine and nothing of that sort. So again, very nice, very linear power delivery, and even at this speed the engine is not heard inside the cabin. Okay, there is some amount of wind noise which is creeping inside, but you can't really say that it is from this pocket or this pocket. It is just that this is a big car, so you are pushing through air really fast right now, so it is natural that you will hear all of that. But overall, as a family car for the Indian mass market, this is very good in terms of NVH. Kia cars and Hyundai cars, both these brands, they nail the NVH department, and they just feel so well finished that you are very happy behind the wheel. Now the next point is visibility. I am 5 feet 8 inches in height. The driver's seat is at its lowest seat setting. You get manual seat adjustment with this Kia Carens Clavis, this particular HTX variant which I have with me right now. The wing mirrors, nice and wide. I can easily gauge the corners of the vehicle, the rear corners of the vehicle. The inside rear view mirror is also nice and large. It actually shows me the entire windscreen behind. At the front, even though I am seated at the lowest setting, if I just try to peep, I see the bonnet lines and I can drive this car very easily. So driving inside Mumbai city traffic, I had absolutely no problem. We were using this car during Navratri, now during Diwali, and you know how Indian streets are, right? Everybody is out on the road. But driving the Kia Carens Clavis, piece of cake, no problem at all. And also because you have 360-degree cameras, so that also helps you stay more confident when you are out on busy streets. So you shouldn't have any complaints in terms of being able to drive such a big car. So don't feel intimidated. It is an easy car to understand and an easy car to drive. The next point is the steering wheel. Now you get a very beautiful looking steering wheel. This possibly is the best looking steering wheel in this particular segment, in these people mover vehicles, in these MPVs. Really nice, flat top, flat bottom, nice two-spoke steering wheel, and this color tone, it is blue and beige. Okay, it is not black or gray, it is blue. So that's also very unique. So that also breaks the ice overall in terms of what a vehicle should look like on the inside. So this color tone also should appeal to some buyers. Overall, the steering wheel is very easy to hold on to. You get thumb contours, it is leather wrapped, it is nice and soft. The buttons are really well sized, they are easy to operate, and I'm very happy that there is no gloss over here, that the logo is not illuminated, and it is not overdone and over styled. Very good looking, very easy. The steering wheel in terms of feel and feedback, not bad, and it is an MPV. So if you make really fast steering inputs, you will of course feel some amount of body roll. You do get all the latest electronics in terms of safety features, but body roll is something that you will feel if you are really sharp with your steering inputs. Nevertheless, if you are at 80 kilometers per hour like I am right now, and if I want to change the lanes, it is very effortless to operate the steering wheel. It is very easy to understand what the wheels are doing, where the wheels are pointed. So you can drive this car confidently out on the highway and you will not be scared. Say for example, there is any kind of an emergency and you want to really swerve the vehicle fast, and if you think that you have to avoid some kind of an obstacle, check this out. If I make a sudden lane change, it still stays well balanced. Yes, there will be some body roll, some pitch and roll which you feel, but as long as you are careful with your steering input, as long as you are well calculated with your steering input, you know the road conditions and where you want your vehicle to be, it stays controlled and it stays nice and balanced. So in terms of the steering feel, I think it is neutral and it is more than sufficient for an MPV. Even with the slightest of input, there is movement, so there is not too much of a dead area in the center. So it's a decent steering wheel. Let me just pull over to the shoulder and let me demonstrate this to you. Check this out. The steering wheel, one hand operation, no problem. It is not the lightest, but it doesn't require too much of an effort. So if you're going to share this car with your friends and family members, nobody is going to say that your big Kia Carens is really heavy to drive, that it feels heavy from behind the wheel. It is reasonable. And by the way, the steering column, it has tilt and telescopic functionality, so you can set it where you want it to be for comfort and confidence. Ideally, you shouldn't be doing this when the vehicle is moving, but I just showed that to you in flow. So the next point is ergonomics. I want to speak about that because we have a manual vehicle, a more engaging variant. So the gear stick, it has nice and short throws. So check this out. You don't have to move the gear stick a lot, and it is very easy to shift gears in this Kia Carens Clavis. It also feels quite nice while doing that. It doesn't feel notchy at all. It doesn't sound notchy at all when you are changing gears. A very nice, a very seamless shift. You get a nice feel when you make that shift, so you know that it has precisely shifted at one point. So there is no false shifting that you will encounter. So the gearbox in terms of operating ability, very nicely done. The clutch, medium throw, not the shortest of throw, but it is a light clutch. Like I said, I was stuck in peak Diwali, weekend rush traffic going uphill towards Lonavala. I faced absolutely no problems in terms of operating that clutch. My knees were not scolding me. So that is a good telltale sign that the clutch is nice and relaxed, and the spring action is also quite decent. So again, that is good. Then in terms of ergonomics, you do get a dead pedal to the left hand side of the clutch, of course. So I wear a shoe size 9. I have reasonable space to rest my left foot, especially when you are out on the highway like this. So it is a comfortable place to be, and the pedal placement is also nicely spaced out. So to get your left foot off the clutch and then park it on the dead pedal, there is enough space. You don't have to fiddle around or try to find that dead pedal, that resting area. And everything falls right in place. All of these controls are very easy to reach to the driver, including this particular extreme end, so no problem at all. So check this out. Very easy to operate the maps, for example, and even over here you have all the standard controls on the driver door pad, but there's no point talking about all of that. So now you know all the basics about this Kia Carens Clavis diesel automatic. What I'm going to do is pull over and slow down, and then let's accelerate. Let's sprint from 0 to 100 in 3, 2, 1. Try to listen to the engine. And in third gear, we have crossed 100 kilometers per hour. Nice and brisk performance. Now, not really very exciting, but not bad at all. Let us try to do that one more time. Let me find a safe enough spot. All right. Let's check this out. So, in 3, 2, 1. Very nice shifts. When you're pushing it hard, you can hear the engine, but it is not too coarse and it is not very clattery. So if you feel the need for speed, this Kia Carens Clavis will not let you down. In terms of bouncing on the rev limiter, let me check it out. Not that you should do that in an MPV anyway. Let me just downshift to a lower gear and find out where that spot is. So let's check this out. So in second gear, pushing it hard, and it revs till 5000 RPM. So at 5000, you have to shift gears because there's no point doing that. In fact, if you're driving a diesel, I think it's best to stay in the meat of the power band. So just shift maybe at 4000 RPM and you get good progressive momentum gain. There's no point revving it up till 5000 RPM. Now I'm going to slow down, and this time I'm going to tell you the optimum shift points which the vehicle is suggesting. Okay, so since this is a manual, we can do all of that. So now in first gear, starting to move a little under 20 kilometers per hour, I get an upshift prompt from first to second. For third, under 30. For fourth, at 40. For fifth, over 50. And for sixth, a little over 70 kilometers per hour. But check this out. I'm continuing now in sixth gear. I'm letting the speed drop. All right. The speed is now 50 kilometers per hour. I'm in sixth gear. Gently giving throttle input. Absolutely no knocking, no hesitation, no clatter at all. Now I'm again releasing the throttle. I'm slowing down the vehicle. Okay, I'm clutching it, using the brakes, slowing the vehicle down. I'm in sixth gear. Now I have released the clutch and the brake, and I have just allowed the vehicle to free roll. It is free rolling by itself at over 40 kilometers per hour. It is picking up pace a bit. It is now approaching 50 kilometers per hour. Yeah, it is at 50. It is still picking up pace. I am not giving any throttle input. Yes, the gear shift assist is asking me to downshift to 5th because I'm not at the ideal rev range, but there is just so much torque lower down in the rev range that it can manage all of this with absolute ease. So in 6th gear, without any throttle input, the vehicle will keep rolling at close to 45 to 50 kilometers per hour depending on the gradient. So not bad, isn't it? What I also want to demonstrate is, check this out, you can actually drive this car without any throttle input, especially in city limits. Check this out. First gear, releasing the clutch, the vehicle is rolling. No throttle input, by the way. Now I'm in second gear, releasing the clutch, the vehicle rolls. Third gear, just slipping the clutch, we are moving, we are moving. Now from third to fourth, releasing the clutch, it is now picking up pace. It's picking up pace. We are moving faster. Now I'm going to shift from fourth to fifth. Again, no throttle, no engine knocking. That was just the rumbler patch. No problems at all. Check this out. I'm in now fifth gear, but no throttle input, and we are still driving. We are still moving without any jerks. And now from fifth to sixth, absolutely no complaints from the engine. We are very easily moving. So especially if you are in city traffic, you don't have to struggle too much to drive this Kia Carens diesel manual. It is just so torquey that just let the clutch go and the vehicle will keep moving progressively. Now, if I suddenly give a throttle input, no hesitation, absolutely no knocking, no jerks, and we have started to pick up pace. That is how easy, that is how effortless this vehicle is to drive, and that is why I really like it. I really love it. If I had to buy a family car, the Kia Carens Clavis would definitely be my pick. The Maruti Suzuki XL6 and the Ertiga, they are not up to my taste. They are just very basic. They are very basic, and they do not feel premium at all on the inside. The Toyota Innova, it is just an overhyped old piece of vehicle which Toyota is slapping us with and overcharging us. But Indian market loves reliability, and they are willing to pay blindly for reliability, no matter how badly priced that product is. It is not even efficient. It is not even fuel efficient. So this, with really good fuel efficiency, with very good practicality, with effortless driving capabilities, and with so much space and such good feel inside the cabin, the Kia Carens Clavis is a fantastic product. Now you've seen the performance in terms of acceleration. I told you how practical it is to drive around at slow speeds, at crawling speeds. Now let's keep moving at expressway speeds again. Going to the first lane, the fast lane, setting the cruise control at 80 kilometers per hour. So at this speed, the vehicle stays really nicely planted out on the highway. The suspension setup has kept me very happy throughout my long-term review ownership of this vehicle. Very compliant suspension setup. I drive daily in a Hyundai Tucson, so my reference point is over there. Of course, that is a way too expensive vehicle. But I also had the Hyundai Alcazar very recently, just before this vehicle. And even compared to the Alcazar, this feels more to the point as a vehicle which you might need for chauffeur-driven requirements too. The suspension tune is much better over here in this Kia Carens Clavis. Of course, this is an MPV. It is supposed to offer more comfort, and it does. Right now, when you drive over all of these bumps and undulations, they do not feel thrashy, they do not feel jerky, so you don't feel too much of pain in your back and in your bottom. So the vehicle moves in mature fashion, and it is as ideal as you want your vehicle to be, as neutral as you want your vehicle to be. It is not so comfort oriented to the point that it feels wafty and wallowy at high speeds. It does not do that. It will not make you feel nervous at triple digit speeds. It maintains its composure. And when I make these lane changes, sudden lane changes also, again, the suspension setup, it gives you good balance, it gives you good control. The pitch and roll is not to the point that it will feel like the vehicle is out of your control. So the suspension is also really nice. I'm really glad that you don't have XL sized, over styled, snazzy looking wheels. The wheels are of the right size, the right fit for this vehicle, for this application, and that is why you get better comfort. If these were 18-inch wheels, things could have been worse in the comfort department. Now the next point which is left are the brakes. Now this is a big car, but in terms of stopping power, the pedal feel is quite nice. And even if you get on the brakes a bit hard, it does not nosedive too much. So that also is very important, because you will not make your passengers uncomfortable in this Kia Carens Clavis. So check this out. If I try to pick up pace, and then if I think there is some problem in front of me, and if I want to slow down the vehicle, you know, it doesn't dive too much. It stays nicely balanced. So that also is quite nice. And the pedal feel is ideal for a car of this size. No complaints. It is nice and progressive. It is not over servoed. So it is not like you touch the brake and it just grabs onto the brakes and, you know, it is very sharp. It is nice, progressive. It will slow down the vehicle in a very safe and predictable way. So you can effortlessly drive in city traffic, out on the highway, and even if you think there is some kind of an emergency, you don't have to be scared. Stopping power is enough for this Kia Carens Clavis. So overall, I have been mighty pleased. Now, this is not the most expensive variant of the Kia Carens Clavis, by the way. There is no panoramic sunroof over my head, but you do have this single pane sunroof, which is also enough. Really large glasses, very generous glass greenhouse for this vehicle, big windscreen, big quarter glass even for the third row, really large windows in the second row. It's a hot sunny day, outside temperature is 36 degrees, but the AC performance has been brilliant. I have been very comfortable inside the cabin, and this vehicle, this variant does not have ventilated seats, but my back is not sweaty at all. So in terms of keeping you comfortable, that also is very important, that the AC performs, and it does. So it is just such a good car. It is just such a feel-good vehicle. So if you step inside your Kia Carens Clavis after a long day's work, this can be a place of peace, and I really recommend it, especially to those who want a big family car. If you have any other questions about this Kia Carens Clavis, ask me in the comments below and I will try my best to help you out. Till next time, subscribe to the Shifting Gears channel, press that bell icon, always drive safe, and do check out the other content pieces which we have uploaded for you.